This video was released on October 2nd, which means it's Saizo's birthday. Happy birthday, Saizo. Greetings and salutations. My name is Deltran, helping you make killing machines for Fire Emblem Heroes to get the most out of the game. Talking about Saizo, the angry ninja. You and I will go over his matchups, his builds, but first, let's get his digits. Taking a look at his stats, we'll compare it to the rubric: 42 or higher hit points, 35 or higher in an offensive stat, 32 or higher in a defensive stat. We hit one of these, come really close on another one. 36 hit points is not good. We're towards the bottom of that. The attack at 29 is good for a dagger user, however. The speed of 34 is good overall, but is not that great for a dagger user. One comment here, since I'm looking at it, I did put Summer Gaius in here. I think it's confusing now, but I'm leaving the image in there. It is normal Gaius we're comparing the stats to in this particular case, but that defense is awesome. 33, yeah, that's something we could base something off of for a really powerful build. And hey, dumpster fire resistance. Didn't see that one coming. Let's take a look at what he swings with the smoke dagger, might 9, which is alright for a dagger weapon. This is inflicting -6 defensive resistance on everybody around the target, not the target itself. The angry ninja is very angry and likes to yell at you to make you better using harsh command. It sort of reminds me of my mother, actually. Huh. Things make sense now. Poison Strike. It's an interesting choice. It's put onto units that aren't meant to kill something but to soften something up. Makes perfect sense here. You're not going to be killing too many people with Saizo directly. Spoilers. And Spur Speed 3, it's wonderful. If you're going to be throwing these daggers around and not killing people, you're probably going to have a buddy standing next to you, engaging the unit you just hit. So Spur Speed 3 is a wonderful thing to have, not to mention helps boost up that slightly lacking arena score that you would otherwise get with Saizo having a lower BST because of him being a dagger user. Look at the Obituaries: 7 wins, 6 losses, and 163 draws. Wow. Yeah, that's a thing. 611 to 159 whenever you're being attacked. We're not really killing too many people here. That's the lineup. As far as people that kill you, you know, you're dying to Hector because you initiated on them. That's your fault. Otherwise, we lose to a lot of mages whenever they attack us, and a couple of special people like Hana there are wrecking our life if we let her initiate on us. The high attack, high speed combo just is not doing us any favors, so you gotta watch out for being doubled. But it's not just brave weapons we care about. Brave weapon users tend to have a low attack value, which is good because we have a really high defense value. Just come on over here, come to the camera, just say hi. You can't hide. I know you're there. I can feel you scowling at me. It just doesn't even take a break even on his birthday. So there's two things I want to hit on here as far as talking about Saizo, and the first one is actually how to use him. Whenever you put him on the battlefield, you want to march him up there and take advantage of his nice defense. When it comes down to it, he is supposed to be there to help protect squishy units a little bit, not a lot. He doesn't have tons of hit points, but he could definitely take a hit or two from physical attacks. And then really what you're trying to do with him is weaken and soften up the enemy. Specifically, go after bow users, and of course, any melee, range 1 unit you want to. Just go for it. Just throw the daggers at them and have fun and laugh, or scowl if that's your thing. Anyway, once you go up there and you soften up somebody, the debuffs are there, the damage that happens out of combat from poison is there, you're going to be on a roll. You just go ahead and soften them up, let someone else come by and take care of them from there. There's some good cheap upgrade options that we're going to talk about here in just a moment that'll help you get a little bit more out of them, help them get a couple of kills, let them have a little more survivability, even let them pop once in a while to be able to really, really be a good integrated part of your team. And then of course we have some full builds here in a moment. But one thing I want to hit on here that's sort of about rogues in general, not just Saizo, is that there's sort of a weird niche. They're meant to be a part of this emergent, marginalized piece of play that just isn't coming about in Fire Emblem Heroes. The meta is all about one hit, one kill. Why bring a ninja whenever you could just kill something outright? The idea here of the ninja is to let you soften up targets so that you can have a couple of your units do double duty to be able to handle different things. If you are having problems saying like, oh, I need to have a counter for Ryoma and Reinhardt and frickin' Brave Lind, and then there's still Hector, and then whoever else gets added to the meta later on, if you're like looking at all these units and you're just going crazy saying, I can't counter them all, you don't need to have a hard counter for all of them. You need a dagger user, someone like Saizo, who could go up there, take a hit from most of them. Don't think he's not doing Reinhardt. I mean, we already talked about that. He's not doing Reinhardt. But you need somebody who could go up there and who could at least attract the attention, if not blatantly tank somebody, so that you can debuff them and come in with a unit who almost could do the job, because now they can. There's less hit points on that unit, there's less defense on that unit, you're good to go. And that's where the ninjas come into play, that's where all the daggers come into play. That's how you use them, and Saizo does this so well that if you haven't played around with a dagger user yet, this is the dagger user to start on. Last point, this is also a great candidate to merge. A 4-star plus 10 Saizo is roughly equivalent, weapon excluding, to a 5-star plus 5 Saizo. And when it comes down to it, since all you need is a couple of points here and there from a buff here or there in order to make Saizo go from, I don't know, to, oh, that looks usable. Just imagine adding all of those merges onto him and then giving him those buffs. The numbers look great, let me tell you. If you're looking to patch up Saizo, we have a couple of suggestions here. Moonbow or Ignis is what I recommend for the special skill. Moonbow only has a cooldown of 2, you're going to get to use it often. Ignis is wonderful for a gigantic pop of damage. I don't see a reason to downgrade to Bonfire. That one extra difference is not going to matter even in PvP Arena. Just go with Ignis. However, if you go with Bonfire, if you're not crazy, it's absolutely fine and it'll work rather well. Just, you know, you're going against my suggestion, and we all know what happens to people that go against my suggestions. They tend to still have long, fruitful lives and do very well for themselves. So do whatever you want, but I am recommending Ignis. Armored Blow is actually pretty nice for him. It lets you initiate on something, and it lets you take even less damage on that initiation, which is pretty nice. That's what you're looking for here. You're not an enemy phase unit, you are a player phase unit. You want to go ahead and throw that dagger and take as little damage as possible. You're not going after casters who can retaliate and kill you because of your terrible resistance. Armor Blow is nice, although honestly, the speed bonus is going to be what's going to get you the most going here, and that's why I have Speed 3 listed here. I don't recommend Fury because you have too few hit points and you need to be able to pace those out in case you go up against a really hard target. I also don't recommend Life and Death because it just ruins your defenses, and you might be able to still sustain about as long as you could with Fury, but when it comes down to it, if you need to pull double duty and weaken a couple of people, it's not going to happen. You need to be around to make sure the rest of your team can take out all the key threats, and you're not going to do that with Life and Death or Fury. So this is what I recommend. Cheap speed or Armored Blow keeps you on the field a lot longer. If you're looking for something that's not cheap but a full upgrade, here's the first option for you. Mr. Sleepyhead32, thank you so much. He provided the build for this. I haven't had a chance to test a close counter Saizo myself, so the fact that he has been building one for a while makes me feel very comfortable in presenting this to you. It's very impressive. We're putting the Rogue Dagger on him this time, repositioned in Ignis for that nice pop of damage. Close counter is what we're doing here, and we have Seal Attack and Speed 2. Between this and the Rogue Dagger, the enemy that you're hitting is being debuffed on all fronts. If you put this Saizo on a defensive tile for that initiation, he's going to be able to stand there, even against different mages. He's going to debuff them so hard that you're going to be able to stand there and tank and kill a couple of units all on your own. On the initiation, without any of these buffs or anything, you're only looking at 2 wins, 6 losses, or if you're initiated on 3 wins and 12 losses. Not very impressive, but one other thing I want to mention here Saizo is a wonderful candidate to have multiple merges. You're going to see a lot of him in 3 and 4 star pools. You might as well keep him around. If he's at 4 stars plus 10, you're getting 9 and 2 kills, or 10 and 3 whenever you're initiated on. That's a wonderful reversal of things. Keep in mind, a 4-star plus 5 Saizo is roughly equivalent, except with the exception of the weapon, is roughly equivalent to a 5-star Saizo. And since you're putting a different weapon on him anyway, you're going to need that 5-star unit there. Putting a 5-star weapon on a 4-star unit lets them still learn it. They'll be able to use the merges, and you're going to come out on top on this. Of course, putting the dedication into having a 5-star and then merging them up is just fine, but I'm not necessarily saying you need to do that. But this is a high recommendation that I have for you, even if you're just considering using Saizo. Go ahead and save them. Go ahead and merge them. You're going to enjoy it, and it'll be a lot cheaper than trying to develop a 5-star unit, and suddenly one day you're going to be really happy that you have something like this. Lastly, attack smoke is there because that is oftentimes the best debuffing thing ever right now. Lowering everybody else's attack by 7 keeps you and your teammates alive a lot longer. Let's take a look at the DPT. It's not an impressive spread. 0 and 10 and 0 and 17 out of 28. You don't kill anybody. So that makes this page a little bit easier. The people he died to there, you can see, they are mages mostly. Brave Lynn, if she gets souped up, watch out for that. Otherwise, you're also losing the people who have quick riposte on them. It's not pretty for you, so just stay away. Otherwise, you are drawing against so many people that I actually ran out of space on my template here for them all. It just sort of ran off. So all the Ikes, all the Reinhardts, you could go ahead and just throw your dagger at them, weaken them, have someone else come in and mop them up for you. So while you're in, of course, Effie and all the other armors that don't have distant counter, especially if they don't have quick riposte, that is the biggest thing right there. If you go up against a Black Knight who's not using quick riposte, spoilers, my DPT evaluation is done with Black Knight with steady breath and quick riposte because that is the easiest one to put on a defensive arena team. So that's what's going on here, and that's why the matchups go this way. And hey, you live against Tana, and you also live against Brave Lucina. That's wonderful. You need to be able to have that kind of staying power. So this is a very useful build. Once again, thank you, Mr. Sleepyhead32, for showing this to us. Greatly appreciate it. We've got one more build for you here, and we're leveraging the power within our speed here, taking the Phantom's speed seal, and then we're going to go ahead and put Water Sweep on him so that we don't have to worry about all those pesky mages. Smoke Dagger, keeping that on him so that we could debuff people around us. Keeping Ignis for that wonderful pop. Darting Blow is there, combined with that Phantom seal, so that we can make sure that we're not going to get retaliated on whenever we attack. And the Attack Smoke 3 is there to debuff everybody. 0 wins. The point of this build, once again, is not to take all the glory. The point of this build is to ensure that your teammates can do double duty and do everything that they need to do in order to get through the map. This lets your superstars take on some really hard matchups and then continue to just wreck face. Let's go ahead and take a look at the DPT obituaries for him. Once again, 0 and 3 or 0 and 17. On initiation, 0 and 3, those are the only people we lose to. People have quick riposte and a distant counter. That's pretty darn good. So there's only 3 people that you don't want to initiate on. You can initiate on everybody else. You're going to go ahead and debuff them and hurt them. I didn't put the draws down there because it's everybody else. And I don't have a loss obituary page for this one because honestly it's the exact same matchup that we saw with the previous build. Has the same flaws. It's not too crazy out there. Don't let mages initiate on you. Don't let anybody initiate on you. This is not a enemy phase build. You could definitely tank some of the lower threats in certain cases, but I would not make a habit out of it because last thing you want to do is lose your Saizo because you decided to use him off turn. You want to go ahead and be proactive with him, throw a dagger, debuff. You could take a retaliation attack after you've debuffed him and everybody else around the target that you just hit and of course have your buddy come in to just help finish the job. And hey, do me a favor, if I've given you something to chew on, hit that like button. If you like your Fire Emblem information hot and fresh like Grandma's cookies, hit that subscribe button. My name is Deltran. Thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate all of you, and until next time, take it easy.